Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, Kurn?
Hello.
How you doing?
Welcome to episode 2
Of the podcast. Hell yeah,
of the
we're back
podcast.
again.
And a momentous episode because I finally came up with a name.
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
saw.
Idiots
Alright.
on a Podcast.
Idiots on a podcast. We finally have a name.
We regrettably don't have John with us this time.
Yeah,
but it's
John.
fine.
John is actually in the DR right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
Yeah. He
the
seems,
land of my people.
Yeah, he seems bored out of his mind, but I don't know. Fuck it.
His problem.
He gets to enjoy the nice weather. Fuck him. But by the way, so I guess no one probably knows this because they're not friends with us or anything. But you're back at school, man.
I am. We're doing this over Skype.
Yeah.
You just left. We
I
just saw you a
just
couple days ago. It's weird that we're now video chatting with you in Florida.
Mhm.
How hot is it, man?
Well, let me put it this way. I was talking to a friend who said, you came at the right time. It's not as hot out. It's hitting the low 90s.
Fuck that
It
shit.
sounds like shit. We had a
it's
thunderstorm
horrible.
today, and it was brutal.
But we had
It
a
was so
thunderstorm today, too. And with that,
I mean,
it
yeah,
was
you
in the
have
low
like a tropical
90s.
storm pass through you.
It's a monsoon.
Jesus.
Damn. Well, there goes Florida. Fuck it, we didn't.
And with that, it's still 93 degrees.
Yeah, fuck that. It's about to get a lot more humid.
Oh, and for the people who are wondering, he's in Florida. We're in New York.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's still here. It's retarded. It literally makes no sense.
The giant rotting fucking apple.
That's the best way to
versus
Weather.
America's Australia.
Yeah,
Literally.
basically, you
Send
guys
all our
are
prisoners.
fucking. I don't want to go to Florida solely because of the Florida Man Reddit thread.
Oh, but
It's
those are
entirely
hilarious,
true.
yo.
It's
This guy was
entirely
beating
true.
on a crocodile. Dude, this
What?
guy was beating on a crocodile with a dildo. It was fucking hilarious.
You know I've been in Florida long enough when my first question is who won?
Oh my
Who
god.
won? Probably the guy.
Probably it's Florida.
This
Depends
Florida.
on the dildo.
My favorite is
That's
the guy.
also a good point.
It wasn't in Florida, but the guy who tried to square up the hurricane. That guy was hilarious. Like, what are you doing, my man? Go home.
I just want him to
Go
yell
to
at the
the-
hurricane to give him a peek check.
Oh man, fuck that.
All right, so I mean, I guess.
So,
we'll-
so you asked us the questions last time. What have you been playing / watching, man?
So now that I'm finally back in Florida,
The pressure's on him now.
I have my PS4 back. And with the summer kind of lull in game releases, I'm going through my backlog. I am playing, let me see if I have it right here, the Uncharted Nathan Drake
Ooh,
Like, bro,
Collection.
it's so good. What game are you on?
3. I'm like halfway through.
Already?
See, you're farther than I am. I'm in the middle of 2. It's so good.
I
Two's
bought
really
it.
good.
I'm still in 1. Sadly.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to play it really quickly because my roommate has 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, bro. 4. Have you seen footage of 4? It's
I
gorgeous.
have. That's a fucking
Bro,
movie.
Naughty Dog went so hard on making Uncharted 4. It's ridiculous. The visuals are literally, they're striking.
Yeah.
The landscapes are unbelievable.
It's a cinematic experience in a video game.
One of my
Listen.
favorite things to do is watch like cutscenes from The Last of Us and cutscenes from Uncharted 4, and
They're
then go back and look at what the first Crash Bandicoot looked like,
Oh my
and
god.
just see how far technology came.
And it's crazy though because like those graphics, they're still very like nostalgic though,
Mm-hmm.
and they're very vibrant.
Yeah.
That's what I'll give games because like whenever you see the COD games now, they're just dark, disgusting, grimy.
Yep.
There's
Yeah.
no color to them.
Just
Go
gray.
back to-
Grays
Yeah,
and
go
greens
back to
and
Crash Bandicoot
tans.
and games like that back in the day, Banjo-Kazooie,
Yeah.
you know, the original Super Mario. The coloring, it was so vibrant.
Well, it's
That's why
also
like now Nintendo games, they still have that nice look to them.
Yeah.
Even
they
Splatoon,
sacrifice graphics.
splash of color.
It's actually interesting. The new Crash Bandicoot, every reviewer is criticizing it for being too hard compared to the original, and people are saying, you've just gotten lazy, you've just gotten bad in your old age. They found out, no, the game is actually harder, because while the levels are practically the same pixel for pixel, new graphics mean better, sharper character models, and Crash is a different size, so the jumps are harder to analyze and predict.
His hitbox is his hitbox is different.
So just the platforming, it's harder to land because some of those jumps are like from one end of one platform to the first end of another platform,
The turtle bridge.
Yeah, especially with the turtle bridge, because it's literally just a straight
Yeah.
narrow shot from behind.
Yeah.
So you don't get that side view to even see if like if you can even make the jump. Yeah, your
Yeah.
depth perception is trashed by that camera angle. And even back in the day, games like that, they got so much shit for their camera, but we made it work.
Yeah.
And now that it's like fixed, it's just like fuck. What do I do?
Yeah.
Well,
This
you
is all
know
about
what the
exploring.
original name for Crash Bandicoot was, not the character. The project for the game, the development name for the game was Sonic's Ass, because it essentially was Sonic, but you're staring at his ass the whole time.
That's amazing.
I mean, shit, it came out fucking fantastic. So I
Yeah.
don't think we can complain about that.
Yeah.
And speaking of Sonic, I've heard Sonic Mania is fantastic.
Oh my
Ooh.
god, I'm watching a playthrough. I've never wanted a Sonic game before in my life. I want that game.
Bro, literally,
It looks so good.
the level design. The care that went into the level design is really what gets me.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it was. Care.
Dude, in all these Sonic games, like, alright, I'll give credit to Sonic Boom only because it did try a couple different things with the level designs, like
Mhm.
you like the little platform and stuff like that. And even though it doesn't fit a Sonic game, it's the fact that they tried.
Yeah.
But like in other Sonic games, fuck man,
Like as
it's
far
been lazy,
as far as-
lazy and unfinished.
as far as the 3D Sonic games that have come out in the last like 15 years, I can say because I've played most of them. The best ones that I personally played are Sonic Generations because it was a good game.
Generations.
Well, everyone praises Generations for being the best of the new ones, because half the levels are from the old ones.
exactly.
But Sonic Colors wasn't bad either.
That's
It
what
wasn't-
I'm hearing about.
See, here's the thing. Sonic Colors, it wasn't bad in comparison to the rest of the 3D Sonic collection, but as a standalone game, it was still okay. Like, it was something that Sonic fans could be like, look, it's not all bad.
Look, he
Kind-
doesn't
no.
turn into a werewolf.
Oh my!
I mean,
I had
see-
Sonic
see-
Unleashed. Let's not even
See,
go there.
my thing with Sonic Unleashed was that, well, the night levels where you were a werehog were awful, but in the daytime when you actually had movement and you weren't the werehog, you were fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was
a
pretty
good
fun.
game.
It wasn't
pretty
bad.
fun. It
Oscar,
wasn't bad.
you've just quoted like every review. Because
Because
Like,
it's true.
It's honestly like
Mhm.
it's just something that's
because
so
the Sonic
true and
segments
fast.
are supposed to be good.
Yeah,
And they're also
and-
supposed to be fast. Like, and
Mhm.
it's not even the fact that it was just slow. The combat was awful.
you know,
Yeah.
The combat was so stale.
we didn't bring this up last week, but I mean, since we brought up Sonic, I will say that I've beaten Sonic 06. Like, I didn't complete it, but I beat all 3 story modes.
What do you mean you completed it, but you mean like you didn't get all the collectibles and stuff?
Oh, what you think I wanted to kill myself?
That
No.
that,
No,
like,
I didn't know if there were collectibles. I didn't think they thought that far through.
Oh, they did. They tried at least to some extent. There were the Solana coins spread around the open world and in levels,
Yeah,
and
no
it
one-
was just like I collected 5 naturally, and it's just like, oh, there's secret coins hidden in the world, and I was like, miss me with that shit, boy.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah, dude, and it's I don't know, but my thing with Sonic Mania is that first of all, the older levels they look fantastic.
Mhm.
Just like even like the way they look, it looks nice, vibrant, stuff like that. Dude, I heard the new levels were awesome though. Like
Yeah.
that's what gets me. The fact that it's easy to like just especially with the game like the old Sonic to just make it look nicer, keep the gameplay, all that shit.
Yeah.
And that's easy to like replicate and have it, be good. But to make a new level completely new.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where there's a lot of people who wished it came out just as a full new game.
Yeah.
And that's how good the levels were, bro. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Now, do you think there'll be like a Sonic Mania 2 entirely of new levels?
I want to think so, but with modern gaming, I'm always skeptical of sequels after something's been done right because developers tend to get greedy and then they fuck it up. But since these are people who the whole reasoning for making the game was the love of the classic Sonic, I would say that it could work.
And I think I definitely would want like Sega
Oh,
to
God.
continue on is the fact that Sonic seems to work out best in 2D.
Oh, without that.
It's the fact that like I understand the massive appeal of a 3D game.
Mhm.
I understand. Don't get me wrong. I totally understand, but I don't know. Sonic's always worked best to me in the 2D platform, and that would be really cool to see because like when you're doing the really fast sections in 3D, they're sloppy, bad control, bad camera. It's always most of it's done pretty poorly. Honestly.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the cool parts are the automatic part. It's the parts where you're holding forward and doing
Exactly.
good.
Yeah. Because the thing is that Sonic has the ability to look really cool in 3D, but they haven't been able to make him control well in 3D.
That and the fact that it always seems that the game itself always will literally remind you all the time. These sections suck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, it's just, it makes no sense. Like, you know it's bad.
Although on a personal note, one of the things that caught my eye first about Sonic Mania, excluding the level design, was the attention to detail of the way the sprites move and their animations. Like when Sonic turns around, it's not just like a one frame he's facing this way, one frame he's facing the other way. They gave it like an animation.
You out. It trips you out when you're looking at the old levels, and it's like, wow, this is Green Hill Zone. This is pixel for pixel, everything I remember. And then Sonic starts running, and you're like, oh my god, he is running in 60 frames per second. This is not
it's
right.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's just I'm so happy with, and what's been lacking a lot in Sonic games is literally just the care put into it.
Yeah.
And like the last game we really got that with was Sonic Generations.
Yeah.
And it's just the fact that like
because Sonic Generations was an homage to the old Sonic games.
Because even with like Sonic 06, the team split in half, bro. Like what?
Yeah.
Like what
the other
are you
half
supposed to
made
do
Sonic and the Secret Rings, which I also played. Let me tell you this with absolute 100% certainty.
Go ahead.
Somehow because Sonic 06 was supposed to be, of the two games, the one that was the bigger, the better one, right? The one with all the attention to detail. Sonic and the Secret Rings, in comparison to Sonic 06, was a better game. And that's saying a lot. A lot.
And it's just the fact that, like, dude, come on. Just, if they had kept both of the teams together, Sonic 06
game
had potential to literally come out good.
Yeah.
They're not saying, like, Sonic 06 is bad. It's really bad. But it has some moments where it's just like, okay, this isn't bad. If this just had more work done to it, it could have been good. But it's the fact that there just wasn't enough time, enough people, all that shit. We already know the whole story.
Yeah.
I love how they thought it was going to reinvigorate the franchise. I mean, we call it Sonic 06. Colloquially, it is called Sonic 06. It's because it came out in 2006. That game's name is Sonic the Hedgehog. They thought that was going to be like the fresh start to launch it to the next generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the first of many games that were just going to take Sonic to this new level, and it failed. It failed horribly. And
then what
honestly,
came after? Sonic and the Black Knight?
Yo, I never played the Black Knight. When I was younger, I wanted it because I thought it looked cool. I've never been so happy that I didn't buy a game. Like, never. It's so bad. It's so bad. I saw the Grumps playing, and I was just like, this game is actually ass.
I think that's the first Sonic game they just said no to. And they played Sonic, Sonic DX, Sonic 06.
Did they play Adventure 2?
Yeah, I think it's Sonic Adventure DX.
No, Sonic Adventure DX and Sonic Adventure 2 was the sequel to DX.
Oh, they never played 2. I thought you meant TO.
No.
They never played the one that introduced Shadow. But did they? I think they did play Shadow the Hedgehog.
No, because
Shadow the Hedgehog was bad.
The one that introduced
I had that game growing up. I loved it.
You loved it?
I hate it now. I went back to it and tried it again.
Oh no,
I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah. But back
I completely
then,
feel you.
You know what it was? Because Shadow was cool back then. Everyone wanted.
Cool. The game opened with like a GameCube did this thing where it always opened with like a music video, but that one was metal as hell.
Yeah, because the thing is that like at that time they were appealing to all the like young teenagers hitting their edgelord years, and who's more edgelord than Shadow the Hedgehog with really guns and slight cursing.
Slight cursing, but it's also, does he want to help the military and use those guns, or help the aliens and use those guns?
Yeah, basically. It was just so stupid, but it was so amusing as a child.
I remember this so pure, like, gamer experience as a kid, which is, if you pick the good route, because you can choose which path you go down in Shadow the Hedgehog, you be evil, good, or neutral. If you choose to be good, then your allies are the Sonic the Hedgehog characters.
Yeah.
And you're choosing friendship, you're choosing teamwork, you're choosing cooperation. If you choose the friendship route, if you plug a second controller into the GameCube, you can control the person helping him.
Yeah, Sonic.
So the first level, you can Sonic will follow you around and help you out, and player 2 can play as Sonic. So you can play with your friends, but only if you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
And the
one
thing
wanted
was,
to do that.
it was one thing to see Shadow carrying around like assault rifles and pistols, but the fact that you could have Sonic use a gun was just weird.
Sonic couldn't pick up the gun.
Really?
Only Shadow
you
could
sure?
pick up the gun. Sonic can just jump and dash.
What bullshit.
And the camera
Swear
does
to
not
God.
follow him, so you can
No,
just walk
did
out
the
of
game have
screen.
multiplayer? It did, right?
The game had multiplayer, but it was like a battle arena thing, and everyone played as different color Shadow or a different color Metal Shadow.
Okay. I was thinking of that because I was like, I know that the second player was able to use guns, but I was thinking of the multiplayer.
Oh no, it had like a third-person shooter mode.
It was weird. See, all right. Can we... This is something that I want to bring up that me and Oscar stumbled upon the other day because of... you know the channel on YouTube, The Know, or In the Know, based off Rooster Teeth?
Yeah, no, it's like their gaming news division.
Yeah.
I love them. Rooster Teeth, if you're listening, I love you all.
They had a segment, well, not a segment, they had an episode where the title was Nintendo's being sued again, which it happens almost every time they release a new console.
Mm-hmm.
And this time they're being sued for the Switch because of the Joy-Cons. And I was talking to some friends of mine in class, and I was like, do you think that anything is going to come of it? And they're like, nah, there's no way. It's not going to happen. But apparently, Nintendo has dished out some, like, serious money to settle some actually pretty bad lawsuits.
Oh, of course. But when you're Nintendo, you have the money to do that.
This is also true.
Also, just on the topic of like Nintendo,
Mm-hmm.
another thing that me and George were considering as we were watching was the fact that the Switch just launched, and it is very successful. Like, you can't lie. In Japan, its numbers are astronomical. It's crazy. These guys that are suing Nintendo literally want to shut the Switch down. If by some grace of God this goes through, Nintendo can't recover from something like that.
No, because the Wii U flopped. They've been standing
You
on
don't
the
think they're
3DS
just doing this to
sale.
settle for a shit ton of money?
See, but like, no, here's the thing, because like, all right,
These guys really try to like shut the Switch down.
Yeah, because their goal
Good luck
isn't
with
just to get money out of Nintendo. They want the Switch to be like killed as a console, and it's not going to happen.
Never.
But if somehow it does happen, I don't know how Nintendo's going to bounce back, because after the Wii U failed, they've put so much money and resources into the Switch that if 7-8 months into its lifespan it gets shut down, like that's catastrophic.
I'll tell you how they can come back, and it's something that I said before the Switch came out, and after the Switch I kind of stopped saying it. If Nintendo decided to just go the route of software, if they decided to just become a software company, they would dominate. They would be bigger than Activision. They would be bigger than Ubisoft. They would destroy EA.
Bro, do you have any idea how much money people would pay just to be able to see Breath of the Wild running on a PC or PS4 or Xbox?
We actually talked about that the other day. That Breath of the Wild would be one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen.
Dude.
And another thing with Nintendo is that if the Switch were to fail, it's arguably its like biggest game is about to come out. With Odyssey.
You don't think Breath of the Wild is bigger?
No,
because
Mario's always outsold Zelda, always, because Mario, as big as Zelda is as a franchise, Mario is like the face of gaming. Like, all right, this is something that I don't know if other cultures experience, but whenever a Hispanic parent walks in, or at least back in the day, and they would see their kids playing video games, they would associate video games with Nintendo and Mario, always.
Yep. Oh, my Xbox 360 has been called a Nintendo for so long.
It's ridiculous. And like, I'm not knocking Zelda because I am a huge Zelda fanboy, but Mario just the motherfucker just sells consoles.
Also, if you think
and
about
it's fascinating. It's fascinating how his 3D games, they're always great. They're always recognized for technological achievement. They're always recognized as being super innovative. Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario 64, Super Mario Galaxy, all these great games, super famous, and always outsold by the side-scrolling platformer. Always.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because like,
The
what I hate
tried and
about
true formula.
Mario is See, my favorite franchise ever is Mario because it's just like how much it means to me, how many hours of my life I've put into the fucking game.
Yeah.
Shigeru Miyamoto, I love you. Everything you do. It's just a fact for me that like I played the DS version, which was amazing when it came out, and you know it started this whole fucking thing.
DS version of what?
That was fantastic. The DS one.
Yeah, the original
New Super Mario Bros. That came out for the DS.
Yeah, I had that one too.
Yeah, everyone had that. It's so.
I had that and the Super Mario 64 DS.
Ooh, so
64
good.
DS was great, and so was Mario Kart.
Yeah.
It's just like
Mario works.
It does.
It works. It's recognizable. It does its job, and it gives you the satisfaction of playing it. That's the best part with Mario, is that the gameplay is satisfying. And see, for me, like, all right, what was the Zelda game that came out for the DS?
For the 3DS?
3DS.
A Link Between Worlds.
All right, so A Link Between Worlds was Zelda's like big recent DS title,
Yeah.
and then Mario had 3D Land.
Yeah.
And so before that, on main console, you had like the last real Zelda game was Skyward Sword.
Ugh.
And so Skyward Sword, what year did Skyward Sword come out? It's been a while.
2000 and...
There it is, baby.
Oh, there it is.
For those listening, I'm pulling up Super Mario 3D Land.
So, for an equal amount of time, about 7 years, maybe Skyward Sword, I would say, give or take, I think it came out in 2011, actually.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
remember, Breath of the Wild was in development hell. That was originally supposed to be a Wii U launch title.
Yeah, and like people waited a long time for Breath of the Wild, even before the Switch was a thing. It's just the fact that like with Super Mario, the last big 3D game, and I don't count 3D World. That shit was awful. It wasn't awful. It's just the fact that like I
don't count it as a 3D game. That was a 2D game. That was just
exactly.
in 3D.
Yeah, exactly. And so the last time we got a Mario game like that was Galaxy 2, which was unbelievable.
2010?
2010.
Yeah.
So for 7 years, both of these fan bases waited for this game.
Mm-hmm.
For Breath of the Wild and for Odyssey. Bro, Odyssey
for the 3D
we had no
Mario
idea it
had a
even
lot of
existed. Dude, we didn't even know it existed. So like when we got news and we finally saw the game, the hype around this game is unreal. Now, I personally, it'll probably be my game of the year just because I love it, but in my heart of hearts, probably Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Honestly. As it's looking right now, it's probably going to be Breath of the Wild, probably Horizon.
Yeah. Yeah.
As it
Two
stands right
similar
now.
games.
They are.
Only August, but they're definitely two of the big front runners in terms of like AAA games.
See,
I want to
Horizon.
see when Assassin's Creed Origin comes out, it gets lumped in with Breath of the Wild and Horizon Zero Dawn as a trilogy, and like Assassin's Creed is just the one in the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
See, the thing is, though, Assassin's Creed can't hold a candle to the two games because
But the new one looks so different.
See, here's the thing.
I've seen so many trailers. I haven't seen jumping from building to building yet.
This is my biggest concern with Origin, is the fact that every trailer that I've seen, the gameplay looks cool, the mechanics look dope, like the fucking the quad arrow shot, that shit looks ill.
And
but
even the hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, the hand-to-hand also looks good. But the thing is, I understand that it's in the desert. There's a lot of open, empty desolation, but it felt and it looked kind of empty. Like it looked like there was a lot missing. That might just be my opinion and how I interpreted
first of all,
it.
It might not just be done yet.
That's also true.
And another thing for me is that I don't know, because like with Nier Automata, it's an open world game, but there's really like it makes sense because it's a desolate Earth.
Yeah,
but it's just the fact that for an open world game, it was really empty.
Yeah.
Now I haven't gone into the later levels for Nier. Maybe that changes, but
that's the one by the people who made Bayonetta, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Platinum Games. If you get the chance to play Nier Automata, I'm telling you,
fantastic.
You don't have to play the game before it. It's a whole entire new story. It's really good, and it's a Square Enix story. Like, I mean,
yeah, it's a Square Enix story.
Square Enix and Platinum.
It's a Square Enix story with Platinum Games gameplay.
What is it with Platinum taking existing franchises and making them rad as hell?
Yeah,
they did it with Transformers.
Yo, what, are you talking about Devastation?
Devastation? No, yeah, Devastation.
Yo, I have it. I haven't gotten a chance to play it because it was free for the PlayStation Plus members.
Oh, I pick those up every month.
It looks fun, honestly. Like, it looks like it's a good time. If it's co-op, you want to do that sometime?
Yeah, why not?
I'd be down.
I watched Super Best Friends play it, and it just looked fun and ridiculous. And I like how it so breaks the mold of video games where it's called Devastation. Devastator is clearly the main focus of the game. Within the first 5 minutes, you're already fighting Devastator.
Ridiculous.
So what's next?
I mean, like, see, all right, here's the thing. When it comes to video games, I categorize video games in two different genres for myself.
Good and bad.
Games you play for the story and games you play for the gameplay. Because there's plenty of games that don't need a solid story because the gameplay is that much fun. And there's other games that lean heavily on the story with some weak-ish gameplay, but the story makes up for it.
And then we have those golden gems that are both like in Uncharted, The Last of Us, stuff like that.
Well, a lot of people are talking about Doom and Wolfenstein as great examples of that. The new ones I'm talking about, Wolfenstein New Order and Doom, because they're great shooters and it's like story optional.
Yeah, I think
there's like holograms in Doom that give you so much exposition. You can walk right past them, but apparently if you do watch them, they're great. But they're unnecessary. You don't need them.
See, when I played through Doom, the story clippets that I paid attention to, it was interesting. And the voice acting in Doom is done like top notch. It's really good. But when I played it, it was just like, okay, I get it. The story's interesting. I want to shoot some demons in the face though.
Yeah.
And see, what's going to be cool about Wolfenstein 2 is that we're getting a lot more story this time. Hopefully. Yeah. So it's going to have, if the gameplay stays well made, and you have even if only slightly better story, it can come out like best of both worlds. Yeah. Another perfect example is BioShock.
Absolutely.
Bro, that gameplay
was
fantastic, and that story is amazing.
Every time I say
touched the BioShock game.
Bro, George literally goes, "Would you kindly get me that?" And I'm like, "Bro, you need to get the fuck out of my face."
My girlfriend is the same way. If I just say, "Would you kindly," she will be like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, because it's triggering, bro. It's like a few things that could trigger me, and that's one.
But the worst part is I'm half Irish, so I do the accent. Would you kindly want to get some dinner tonight?
All right.
Would you kindly
stop it before you turn me on?
Yo,
I love Irish people. And I love their whiskey.
We were talking about
Me too.
Speaking on the vein of gamers waiting a long time for a long-awaited proper sequel. Bro, you have no idea how hard it is to be a hardcore Metroid fan. Oh my
Do you?
God.
Because Prime 4 and the remake of 2.
Bro.
I'm more excited for the remake of 2. I've never played a Prime game. I'm looking forward to the new side-scroller.
Do you have a Wii U?
I have a Wii.
Pause. Give me a second. Bitch! I'm trying to do something on the internet! Why you gotta be loud as fucking shit?
This is a great blooper.
Bitch! I swear for God.
This is a great blooper, bro.
What do you mean I hate you? That was my cousins came home and they walked upstairs talking all that shit!
So, awkward cut?
Oh, yeah.
No, we could just keep going.
No,
okay, no problem. You'll just cut us back in?
Okay.
Honestly, you can't hear a word she's saying, and that was really funny, so I might leave it. I might leave it in. I might leave it in anyway.
All right.
I'm gonna because you can't hear her.
Just keep it in.
Okay, so, all right. Do you have a Wii U still?
I have a Wii.
Okay, I think on the Wii and on the Wii U, they sell the Metroid Prime trilogy. You could probably get it for really cheap. When Metroid
do I need a point to shoot?
Huh?
Do I need to point the remote to shoot?
Yes, but it's one of the few games that actually does it right.
Okay.
I will be honest.
All right.
Because it's a game that, because it's in first person, and the way that they make the visors work, and the fact that the gameplay is revolving around the fact that you're watching through Samus's helmet, it's very immersive. Like there's points in time where you'll be slowly creeping through a corridor, and Samus will exhale deeply in either stress or anxiety, and you see her helmet slightly fog up a little bit, and you see her face.
That's cool.
It's sick, and
it's a nice detail.
the Prime games at first, when Metroid Prime 1 came out, people were super skeptical because it's like, how do you go from 2D to not just 3D, but
I did play a Prime game.
Did you?
I had the demo for Metroid
Hunters?
Prime Hunters on the DS.
See, Hunters was okay. It wasn't too bad,
Mm-hmm.
but in comparison to the Prime games, like the canon trilogy, it doesn't compare.
Oh yeah.
So, when I found out, it's like, oh, there's a new Metroid Prime game coming out, and then Nintendo showed Federation Force. I hated it. I wanted to literally shoot myself. Federation Force is a blemish on the Metroid series as a whole. It's disgusting. Honestly, Other M is better than Federation Force, and everyone hates Other M.
But George, the baby.
Shut up.
The baby.
I don't give a fuck about that baby.
The baby.
I don't give a fuck about that baby Metroid.
Yeah, and honestly, like,
Was it cute or disgusting? I can't remember.
it was adorable, and like its sacrifice was. They really just don't care. Hold on a second. I'm trying to record here, woman. I'm trying to record. Do you hear it now? Do you hear this evil wench
Oh,
now?
I could always hear it. It was just,
A
it was muffled.
podcast.
I couldn't understand it.
Una cosa que te explico después. How about that?
Like fumando y grabando.
No, estamos hablando de un
I don't
popi.
speak Spanish. Do I cut this part?
no, that's fine. Don't worry.
Oh, and there she goes.
I love it.
And there she fucking
I
goes.
love his family.
Do I keep
If-
this?
If you
Yes, just keep.
if you decide to, all right, fine. Since you're gonna keep this in, I have a bunch of
Oh,
my cousins.
and you're getting a.
I have a bunch of my cousins that live in my house with
Jesus
me,
Christ.
and
Jesus.
they come through my backyard as they want, and they just are loud and obnoxious, and oh god, it's irritating.
Aw, you have such a close family.
Oh fucking, let's not even go there. Let's please not even go there.
You know
So what we're saying? Metroid?
Okay,
Metroid.
basically, get the Prime trilogy, play through it. It's worth it. The story is sick. Boss battles are dope. The power ups are awesome. It's a good time.
I don't know if I told you this. There are 2 franchises that I plan on playing all the games for.
That is Metroid.
Metroid and Legend of Zelda.
Ooh,
And see,
what haven't you
and-
played?
and no. See, I remember Kurt saying you wanted to do everything in timeline order.
In
Yeah.
timeline order?
Yeah.
Are you out of your mind?
Why not?
All right, you know what? Fine.
What
Let
if
me
I
give
sta-
you a
what if I
suggestion.
start if I start with the worst one? What if I just start with Skyward Sword and get it out of the way because I won't know any better?
Let me put it to you this way. All right,
I mean, there are people still to this day though that still say Skyward Sword was better than Twilight Princess.
yeah, and those people are actually stupid.
I mean, hey man.
What is it with like turning the main character into a werewolf? What is happening?
Oh, but that came out fantastic.
The wolf sections of Twilight Princess are done very well.
They are
very,
done
very
very
well.
well, honestly,
Okay.
in our
Mm.
personal opinion. But
It's
there
not
are,
like
there are
IGN's gonna say the Link parts are great, but
But
no, they're
as-
they're all actually good. And
all right, as a suggestion for when you play through the Metroid games, I'm assuming that because being a gamer, wanting to experience it the way that it was originally meant to be, you're going to play the original Metroid, right?
no, I'm playing Zero Mission.
Thank you. Zero Mission is the way that you remake an original game the perfect way. It's so good.
I'm
recently
actually
played
playing
through
Zero
it.
Mission and then waiting for the new remake of 2 to come out.
Yeah, don't go through the trouble of emulating
two.
2 because
No, no.
it's really not worth it.
I would never do something illegal like that.
Oh yeah, no, totally not.
Mhm.
But
What's an emulator?
you know what? What would have made me infinitely butthurt was, I don't know if you heard about AM2R.
Yeah.
It was
I was butthurt until I found out Nintendo shut them down because they were doing it themselves.
See, the thing is, though, AM2R was... Alright, for those who don't know, AM2R is an acronym for a Metroid 2 remake. It was a fan game where someone took the time to... It looked like an improved engine for the Metroid Zero Mission,
It came out great.
and it was a remake of Metroid 2, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, I heard
it
it was-
looked
I
good.
heard it was amazing.
Oh, it
It
looks
was sleek.
beautiful.
But Nintendo's version of Metroid 2 looks very nice, but the way that they're doing it, the animation, the new mechanics, Nintendo being Nintendo and typically giving Metroid the short end of the stick. It could come out badly. I don't want it to. Trust me of all people, I don't want it to, but it's still a possibility.
I don't think it will, only because I feel like we're at this point in gaming, in the industry, where all the people working on these games are the people who grew up playing these games. Again, with Sonic Mania, the reason it worked is because it was made by passionate people. And because it's so good, what the hell is Sonic Forces? I don't know. We don't talk about that.
Ugh.
And I have a feeling Metroid 2 remake is going to be the same thing. It's going to be because it's also such an obscure one to remake. Like, they're not remaking Super Metroid, they're making 2. They picked that for a reason, probably because they saw the popularity of the ROM on the internet. And were like, fuck it, let's do it.
As a gamer, I tend to pick a lot of the series that get shafted over time because, alright, let me give you another example. I'm a huge Mega Man fan. Fuck me.
R.I.P.
Fuck me, right?
Damn.
Yo.
I asked this to someone. I asked this to someone a while ago. I said, what do you think is worse? What Konami did to Kojima, or what Capcom did to Mega Man?
No, without a doubt,
Konami as a company, as people, are pieces of shit.
Yeah.
But Capcom, the way Capcom treats its games, it's
See, all right, look.
Gotta give a shout out to Resident Evil 7 though. It looks amazing.
Facts.
And I heard it was fantastic.
Let's play it on VR.
Oh, stop! I heard it gives people migraines.
I would love that shit.
Yo.
Yeah, except for the migraines. That sounds like absolute trash. Thanks, Capcom.
Let me put it to this way.
It's not even their fault. I'm just gonna blame Capcom
because fuck Capcom.
Force a habit. Blame Capcom.
Yo, let me put it to you this way. When I found out that originally there was a Mega Man game, a 3D Mega Man game in the vein of the Metroid Prime series coming out, and I saw the alpha footage for it, shit looked amazing. I was so hyped. Canceled.
No.
Canceled. Capcom.
I thought you were talking about Mega Man Legends for a sec.
No.
I literally.
Legends 3 was supposed to come out, and as many problems as Legends has, it's a cult classic because there are those people that played it and loved it, and you know what? By all means, go ahead. But the fact that Legends 3 again, fucking canceled. But Capcom has the dick, the audacity. I don't know if you heard about this. There's a live-action Mega Man movie coming out.
That literally.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. And guess who? The only other noticeable movies that the producers have made are is Paranormal Activity 3. That's it.
No.
That literally sounds like garbage.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be so bad.
I do kind of like the idea of a Mega Man found footage film.
That'd be fucking That'd be hilarious and kind of.
You just out of like the camera's falling over on its side, and out of the corner you just see a Buster firing.
No, or you just see his boots.
You just see the dash boots.
Like, what is that?
You know what it is? You can just see like two of the dog's paws. What is his name?
Oh,
and imagine it was very pixelated.
Oh, I can't remember.
What's the name of the dog from Mega Man?
I totally forgot.
Shit.
Holy shit. I can look this up right now, but I don't want to. Roll was the name of the girl.
Roll was the girl. Rockman is Mega Man. I'm gonna slap myself when I remember.
Jesus Christ. I'm looking this up.
You know what? It'll come to us at some point. We'll blurt it out when it does.
I'm looking it up, but I'll decide whether or not to tell you.
I'm literally gonna slam my head against the wall when I figure
If by the end of this he doesn't remember it, just tell him. Also, speaking of, because I'm just gonna go back to Nintendo real quick.
God damn it! I just
he's like, God
at
damn
the
it.
end, I will tell you.
Fuck.
Yeah. So going back to Nintendo real quick, you know what really got me and like kind of actually pissed me off and hurt. I never played much of Splatoon 1, but just the fact that Nintendo finally came out with the new IP. Apparently the gameplay was solid. It was good. People were like, Splatoon is a good game. The fact that 2 was really disappointing, apparently.
Yeah.
That hurts because, like, man, first of all, to think of Nintendo coming out with the new IP was just like, what the fuck? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god. And for the game to actually have come out good, well, it was expected because Nintendo does, at its core, with gameplay, make good games. It's just the fact that this new IP came out and it was good, and the fact that, and it's kind of like a running trend with Nintendo where the second game will be trash.
Yeah.
Not trash, but weak. Especially
Yeah.
think about what they did with Super Mario Brothers 2. It wasn't even the real game.
Super
We
Mario
didn't get it.
Brothers, Metroid,
The second-
Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus, man.
So let's talk about it.
So
Why did everyone get so excited with Splatoon as just Nintendo's making a new IP, and that same thing didn't happen to ARMS?
Oh my
because
god.
with ARMS, what gets me with ARMS is that it's so gimmicky.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to
But,
be
but I-
great. It's supposed
Yeah,
to be
It's
I know.
supposedly
the
really fun.
tightest
You can use a
controls.
controller.
Yeah.
I give
Like
Nintendo
the
props
never,
for that.
like never.
They at least put in the fact that you could use the controller, and I do respect that.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that, first of all, for me, ARMS, I didn't hope for the game to fail. I did not, obviously. New IP, I didn't want it to fail for Nintendo.
It was you expected it to.
It was just the fact that for me personally, I wasn't too attracted to the gameplay. Now, maybe once I pick it up and, see
you're
how
also-
the gameplay is.
You're also not the biggest fighting game.
Yeah, but
It's
it's
not
just the
really.
fact
Do you think it
that
would have done better?
I'll play it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Do you think it would have done better? Because when Nintendo did, they kind of released a game a month. So we got Breath of the Wild, and then Mario Kart 8, and then ARMS, and then Splatoon 2. Do you think if Mario Kart 8 and ARMS switched places, it would have done better? Because they released Breath of the Wild, and then 3 party games in a row, everyone jumped on the first one, and then when they saw ARMS, they're like, I'll wait for Splatoon.
See, the thing is, okay, let me put it to you this way. If Breath of the Wild, all right, I've had this conversation with people before. People are like, oh, if Breath of the Wild had come out a little bit later in the year, the other games that have come out afterwards maybe would have gotten more time in the spotlight. The thing is, that's not true because Breath of the Wild is the reason that 60% of people bought a Switch in the first place.
But I could make it there would be 2 times during this year where Zelda would have succeeded. One was at its launch with the Switch, was perfect, obviously, made a lot of money.
Yeah.
If Breath of the Wild also could have worked if it came out last month. Because with the drop in summer games,
No, it's been pretty quiet.
I think
Yeah.
the best
It's been
time...
quiet, but
But this
also
is when
the fact
everyone
that-
goes through their backlog. I think the only good time to release it is either when it did at launch, or if it switched places with Odyssey. If it switched, if Odyssey was the launch title, and then Breath of the Wild was the holiday launch.
yeah, I see.
Both would have worked.
Yeah, both would have worked, but definitely, he's right though.
Yeah.
Because with the summer drop, people either backlog or aren't playing at all.
See,
And that's why games don't usually come out in the summer. Obviously.
excluding Odyssey, Prime 4, and as far as I'm concerned, that's the only other new games that are going to be releasing that I give a shit about. Excluding those two, the only other Switch game that I'm actually kind of hyped for is Fire Emblem Heroes. The Fire Emblem Dynasty Warriors game, because I like the Dynasty Warriors series and I like the characters and world of Fire Emblem, so I feel like that's going to be pretty fucking sick.
that's why
I
I
just
worked
want
out
to see a bunch of people yell, "That's what Martha's from?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people don't even know the Fire Emblem characters.
See, I mean,
actually from
the
Fire
fact that Fire Emblem characters like Roy and Marth were both in Melee, and that was in 2001.
Well,
I feel
that
like
was, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that game came out before a Fire Emblem game came out in the US.
it came out later that year, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, but I think that one didn't have Roy, so I think Roy debuted to the US in
Yeah.
Smash.
See, because
no
Fire
one
Emblem
understood.
was a Japan only. It was a Japan only series because in Japan's mind, it's an RTS game, and it's very much tactical and strategy to its core.
Yeah.
So in their mind, they were like, well, the American and Western audience aren't really feeling these types of games as much.
Mhm.
But once they threw them in Smash, and people were like, we want to know the story of these characters, Nintendo was like, shit, man, fucking take it.
Also, speaking of RPGs,
Oh,
JRPGs, I don't want to stay on the topic too much, but
Let it out, man.
Ni no Kuni 2's looks.
Ooh!
So
Have you heard of Ni no Kuni?
Of course.
Yeah,
Yo,
so 2's
bro.
gonna come out, and I don't know if I'm gonna get it, but it does look very good. But just telling everyone they should get it eventually. But going back to Nintendo again, honestly, it's just the fact that honestly, it's more. It just feels like, all right. What are you looking forward to next year, both of you? I'll start with you, Kurn. Is there anything Nintendo's coming out with next year or in the future that you're excited for? Besides
kind of,
Metroid Prime 4, we're gonna let George handle that one.
it's kind of weird. I'm looking forward to Odyssey. I don't have a Switch
Did you
yet.
end up watching the trailers that we told you to watch
For which games?
for Odyssey?
Yeah, it looks better.
Because you saw the other worlds now, right?
Yeah, the other worlds. I'm all down. I changed my mind. I am all in on Odyssey. The city might be, in my opinion, I would not be surprised if they say the city is the worst part of the game.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
I feel like they showed
Because
off.
it also looks like hyper realistic. It looks
Yeah,
like
I
they
think
tried to go realistic, but Nintendo can't do realistic because the Switch isn't that powerful.
They definitely the first trailer that released for Odyssey was the city, and I think they did it for the sake of shock value, and it worked because people lost their shit. They were like Mario in a real city.
Yeah, it created
shit.
a buzz. And
New Donk
you know what
City.
level really? The level to me that really just captures like
Mexico World?
Mario, bro. The forest world looks fantastic.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
See, you know what's one thing I've
Yes.
noticed about Nintendo with the Switch so far, and its two biggest games with Odyssey and Breath of the Wild? While it's not the most powerful, man, the way it brings out the environment is gorgeous.
Yeah, because Nintendo has a very good way of bringing out cartoony animation without it having to be hyper realistic. Because
Absolutely.
that's not what they're about.
Yeah.
That's what they always went for. They always went the cartoony,
Bro,
animated looking route.
Did you ever see Xenoblade Chronicles?
Yeah,
Bro, oh my god. For the Wii U, it was...
that looked
really?
good.
See, the thing is that, like, all right, I am one of these
What's a new
people.
Xenoblade would look
Yeah.
Christ.
I am one of these people. I cannot lie, and it always
PS4.
It would look so much
this always irks me about Nintendo consoles is the fact that Nintendo's hardware is always at least a generation behind. Because Nintendo, the Switch's hardware can be comparable to the PS3 and Xbox 360. Because as an IT person and as a tech geek, looking at the specs, the Switch is trash.
Yeah.
Like, if you were to look at the Switch, like, solely based off just their hardware, it's pretty fucking
But I
bad.
don't think it's supposed to be compared to the PS4.
That's the thing. It's not. It's because of the fact that they rely so heavily on their cartoony animation and their niche audience and their niche look. They don't have to be that powerful, which is why they sell for so much cheaper.
Do you know who honestly should be technically considered the competitor of the Switch?
What? Oh my God! Why do you have that thing still?
Tell
For
the
those
audience
who
what
can't-
it is.
For those who can't see, it's a fucking Vita.
Yeah, he's holding up the PS Vita right now.
Not gonna lie though, I had a lot of fun on my PSP back then.
You mean
My
my
PSP
PSP?
was great.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and then it broke so
No.
hard.
Do you know when? All right.
You had a nude on there?
Yeah, I did.
It was fucking. I'm just gonna tell a quick story.
No, go for it. man.
Oh,
Go
dude,
for it.
not safe for work. We're about to go into some inappropriate territory. Not that this podcast is appropriate in the slightest.
I think I've said fuck
my
now.
PSP fucking shattered, my guy. And I was like,
I had a new PSP every year.
dude,
Jesus.
I needed one because I got back into Burnout,
Mhm.
and I really wanted to play fucking Burnout. That and SmackDown vs. Raw 07. Love that general manager mode. So I was like, fuck, I really need a PSP. I was like, George, you still use your PSP? And he's like, not really. So I borrowed it. I boot that bitch up. And like, I was just scrolling through to see if George left anything so I could just delete it. Straight on, found a nude. Honestly, this man had a nude.
All right.
His PSP.
For the people,
Who are you?
Is it him?
No, it's not.
For the people
Okay,
at
Open
home.
it up,
Good.
full frontal.
For the
nude.
people at home, so back in the day, my parents used to take my phone late at night, so I would quote unquote go to sleep. Little did they know that they didn't take my DS, so they were fucked anyway.
He would message me.
I
Messenger?
would hit people up.
From his fucking.
I would hit people up on my PSP and use it
Pick
to
their
talk
chat?
to people. And I mean, like, I might have had some female friends send me some explicit pictures back in the day, and I might have saved them on my PSP. All right,
That's
look,
bad.
man, I was in like 7th grade.
Bro, you deleted everything. Every single thing on my PSP was gone, except for that.
No, because you
He
know what
wanted
it was?
you to see it.
That picture was
Thank you,
saved.
by the way.
That picture was saved on the system storage. I took the SD card with me. That's the
I
problem.
just love how it's the one thing that got left.
Oh, but can we talk about Sony as a gaming company's biggest failure? Hands down, the PSP Go.
That's
the one that was
Oh my
all
God.
digital.
I
That thing
hated
was
that.
trash.
I
It tried to
hated it.
imitate the sidekick and failed.
So
Mhm.
I kind of want to go to one thing.
What?
now. So, Kurn, take a sit back, relax for like a minute, 2 minutes, go use the bathroom, whatever. George,
Oh fuck.
we're on the topic. We're still on Nintendo. And I asked Kurn.
I'm not
he,
going anywhere for this.
He was excited for Metroid Prime 4. Tell me.
Okay. All right. Let me
Tell me
let me
how you
rant a
felt
little
about the
bit.
announcement. What do you think the game's gonna be like? If it's gonna be good, just
Okay.
Kurn, go rub one out.
Let me
No,
rant.
I'm not missing this.
So, I've been waiting since Metroid Prime 3, which, if I'm not mistaken, was in the same year as Galaxy 1, which was 2010.
No, Galaxy
Galaxy
1
2.
was 07, man.
Was it? I thought it was 08.
Galaxy 7.
Well, regardless.
Galaxy.
No, wait.
The
was
first
it?
Galaxy was
I
2007.
can look it up right now.
Followed out in 2010.
Check when Prime 3 came out. It was either 08 or 2010.
Checking right now.
Regardless.
It's been a good while.
It's been a solid between 7 to 9 years.
A whole generation.
Yes.
A whole console generation.
So,
Metroid Prime 3 Corruption.
yes.
Corruption came out in 2007.
Jesus, that's first Galaxy.
2007. So, it's been 10 years to this year.
To the announcement.
So,
The game is so stupidly in development.
Okay, so when I was watching E3 this year, and I was watching Nintendo's press conference, I was in class. And we were on lunch, and me and a couple of friends were on our individual computers streaming the half-hour Nintendo Direct. It was a black screen. It started to pan out. Saw some stars. Everyone was just like, what the fuck is this? I heard the first 3 notes of the main Metroid Prime
Any
theme.
fucking dude.
I saw the screw attack symbol made out of the stars. I screamed in class. I saw a 4 and I fucking lost it. I lost my shit. First of all, Retro Studios, an American-based company actually, based in Texas, made the first 3 Prime games. They're making Metroid Prime 4, which, that alone gives me faith that it's not going to be bad. Because they've done all 3 games. All 3 games have been great.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I was a little upset at the fact that all they showed was the logo and said now in development. But the pure fact that Metroid Prime 4 exists and that it is a thing that is happening was enough to get my dick rock hard, bro. Okay, do I think Nintendo can fuck it up? Absolutely. And then
of course.
I have not just a Nintendo, but I have almost zero faith in gaming companies when they show trailers because I have been lied to way too many times.
Oh,
Do I want it to be great? Oh, bro, come on. If I would give my left nut for Metroid Prime 4 to just be like everything that we want it to be. I've had people ask me if I want it to be motion controlled. I want the option. I want the option to use the controller.
Let them switch between it.
Yeah,
Just like
because
Mario.
Metroid Prime 3 was strictly just motion control. And some people had some problems with that. But, I mean, they did it right. So even if it is strictly motion control, it's not going to be bad.
I feel like
I doubt it would be strictly motion control because you have to be able to take it with you on the go. You have to be able to attach the Joy-Cons to the side.
Yeah,
This is true.
Definitely. And I can also see them trying to reach a wider audience,
Mm-hmm.
which a wider audience literally translated to business means more money.
Yeah.
So for them to want to probably make more money, it would be a far better option to give the option for both.
But the problem with that, with Nintendo, is the fact that, okay, again, I'm going to show the fact that I am a fan of a series that game developers don't give a fuck about how we feel. I am a huge Star Fox fan. Oh my!
Georgie, do you
God,
like-
Star
do you
Fox
like
Zero
all this-
was one of the worst things in the world.
Do you like all this pain you get put through? Are you
I'm
outwardly
a
seeking it?
masochist, but honestly, at this point, it's getting kind of old.
Dude,
All right,
honestly, Nintendo as a company has, at times, fucked me in the butt without even giving me a reach around, or have given me literally the best blowjob I've ever had.
see, all right, look,
But it almost seems like there's no in between.
I'm gonna put this out there. Unpopular opinions are unpopular, but Star Fox Adventures as a Star Fox game is horrible. As a game itself, it's actually really good. The
Which one
mechanics,
is Adventures?
huh?
Which one is Adventures?
The one
with
where
the
you use the
dinosaur.
staff and the
Okay.
dinosaur.
Yeah. I didn't
I
like the one, but
played
here's the
that
thing.
entire
I
game.
grew up... Everyone talks about, like, we had Star Fox, and then Star Fox 64, and then Adventures, and then nothing. That's all the Star Fox
After
games.
Adventures came out, though.
Where's Assault in all these lists? I had
Ass-
Assault growing up. That game was amazing.
Assault was fun. It broke the mold in a lot of ways. It had a lot of really good moments. It was all right.
It was a fun
Objectively as
shooter.
a game, objectively solely as a game, Star Fox Assault is not a bad game. It's a good game. As a Star Fox game,
I just remember
Star
playing
Fox
all
Adventure?
I just remember playing all like the multiplayer shooting things with my friends.
Yeah.
That was a fun multiplayer shooter. Where's the online for that game, man?
See, Star Fox Adventure was basically if you took a brand new world, a brand new universe,
And just dropped Fox.
but based almost around Zelda-esque mechanics, but made it a Star Fox game, which
So
is why
you're
people
saying it
did
should have been a new IP.
It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be called.
Until Shigeru Miyamoto saw it, and he thought to himself, "Well, we could just put Fox in this," and that's where the mistake was.
See, like, all right. Originally, the game was called Dinosaur Planet, I think, and
Yeah.
its main character was an anthropomorphic fox. It wasn't Fox McCloud. It was
Was
just
it the
a
blue
fox
girl?
character. Huh?
Was it the blue girl?
No.
Not a fox. The character was literally just a fox.
It was a
Okay.
male
It
It wasn't
brown
a Star Fox character.
Yeah.
It was literally a fox. And Shigeru Miyamoto was like, "Wow, why don't we just put Star Fox?" And he just almost did not give a shit about his own canon.
See, the Star
Okay.
Fox Adventure as a game is actually a very good game. It's
Because
mechanically
it
a good
wasn't
game.
supposed to be a Star Fox game, so it doesn't really play like.
Yeah, the only problem,
That's the problem.
the biggest mistake mechanically as a game that they made in that game, the biggest issue was Tricky, the little Triceratops
Yeah.
companion that followed
It
you.
was bad.
God, he was fucking irritating.
That was
But
before people knew how to make companions in games. I think the first
Resident
good companion.
Evil.
Yeah, I think the first good companion in a video game is Ellie from The Last of Us.
no,
Or-
Resident
or-
Evil. All right, you
Four
probably
was just more the escort mission.
see.
God.
In Resident Evil 4, of what I played of it, because, all right, for the record, I am a bitch when it comes to horror games. I am not good at playing horror
He's
games.
bad at it.
But when I played Resident Evil 4,
Until Dawn was scary to him.
the companion chick, you could just have her hide somewhere, get rid of all the enemies, and then bring her back, and then move on your merry way.
Well, yeah,
So
but the
it
best part
wasn't-
of a companion should it be that you can get rid of her.
Yeah,
You
but the
can't
thing
have
is that
characters like Elizabeth
Should
from
be able to
Bioshock
kick
Infinite.
ass with.
see, but the thing was in Resident Evil 4, it was the fact that having a companion with you, the fact that you were forced to have one,
And
the
it was bad.
the fact that you could remove her from the equation, and in the moment she wasn't there, it felt like a genuinely good Resident Evil game.
Okay.
Whatever. But I mean, like, I actually don't know what came out first. Was it didn't BioShock Infinite come out before The Last of Us?
Yes, it did. So
Yeah.
Elizabeth would be the first.
Elizabeth was a good companion. She was a very good companion.
Because her job is to run around and hand you ammo, which is
Basically.
the worst part of a first-person shooter. The worst part is after you've finished a massive battle, running
It's-
around, finding the guns with the most bullets in them.
Bro, that used to
Yeah.
happen to me in Bulletstorm
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
That happens to me a lot in Halo.
See, but I mean, like, it's just all right. You know,
I mean, I could definitely see Metroid Prime 4 though, definitely coming out. It's definitely leaning more on the better side.
Yes.
Because especially
Well-
when you have a sequel that's made by a completely different company.
Yeah.
First of all, because all right, with EA and Battlefront, the aesthetics are spot on. It was perfect.
The
They
aesthetics of
captured
the
the
game.
aesthetics of Battlefront and of Star Wars itself, and the gameplay wasn't bad. It's just the fact that everything else was just not acceptable.
EA dropped the ball with Battlefront 1 in the field of content.
It
There
felt
was
like
not.
the best beta I've ever played in my life.
I agree with when I played the beta for Battlefront
It was
1,
hype.
I was just like, this is fucking perfect.
Oh no, I mean
This is-
the end
that was-
game. The end result felt like
Game
the best
itself?
beta
Oh, yeah,
I've
no.
ever played in my life.
Oh no, but that's the thing. The beta for Battlefront 1 had like 2 less maps than the final product. That's it. Which is why as a beta, it was the best beta I ever played. It was literally perfect. It's like, oh, this is just a demo for the game? This is perfection. The gameplay, spot on. Sound effects, spot on. Music, visuals, aesthetic, all
Voice acting.
impeccable. Voice acting, perfect. And then the game came out, and I was just like,
that was
this is literally a beta.
Like,
Just
literally
released as a game.
Me and George picked it up when there were literally when it was $10. Me and George picked it up.
Yep.
And bro, we played it for on the first sitting. We played it for 3 hours, and it was some of the best gameplay experience I've gone through in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It was magical those first 3 hours,
But
and it's
not
kind
good
of
enough for that fourth hour, though.
It's the Destiny effect that you were talking about before, where after 3 hours and I had my fill, there was just nothing else left to do. And it's like if
Can
I
we
had
patent that? I want like Eric Kern's The Destiny Effect.
the Destiny effect.
See, it's also the No Man's Sky effect, because the first couple of hours of No Man's Sky are magical.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. You're dropped in a universe where you have free reign to do whatever you want. But then by the 5th hour, you're like, okay, I've done the same thing the last 6 planets. What the fuck is this bullshit? God, No Man's Sky is a fucking cancer on the gaming community. True.
And it's
Hold on.
still saved on your hard drive.
Shut up.
Never.
Apparently, the new update made multiplayer a thing, and they've added a lot of stuff. See, the thing is,
Yeah, but you're
I
just like
paid
a
for that
yellow
game.
floating orb.
I paid $60 for that game. I still have it on my hard drive. If in the future, because I have to give Hello Games credit where credit is due. They released a shit game, but they haven't given up on it.
Yeah.
They have continued to push, and truthfully, that's more than a lot of developers can say.
See, here's
Do you think it'll be like Destiny, where a year from now it's a really good game?
now.
Yeah. Like
Because
me and
now
Oscar
it's
saw
done.
me and Oscar saw that
That's like Destiny's really good.
the collection, including the newest DLC, The Taken King, was like what, $30?
$30 on sale right now.
As a $30 game, the Destiny as a full
That's a lot of
collection
content.
is actually, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. But
That's
Destiny's
Taken King, Rise of Iron, stuff like
yeah,
that.
whatever the
That's
fuck
good.
the other expansions
Yeah.
were.
See, here's the problem I've been having lately, right? There are 2 update releases that have just been bothering me the most.
Mhm.
With No Man's Sky, now that whatever multiplayer thing, they've added a lot of textures, a lot of the planets look a lot better. My problem is the gameplay is still so basic, and so don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people who like the grinding, people who like
Minecraft.
Inventory management stuff.
7 Days to Die. It's very niche.
Yeah.
My problem is that the gameplay hasn't done enough for me to want to get into it ever.
Yeah.
And the same
So
thing.
you like more of an adventure than an inventory management.
Oh, yeah.
See, the thing is that I
Wait,
want
hold on,
some
hold on.
semblance of action.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
just it feels like there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
That's my problem. And for a game that really enforces exploration, seeing all you can see, it's mind-boggling how like it's just even the world, even like the exploration is boring, repetitive, and bland.
Yeah.
And there's an easy fix that you can do, very similar to what a game that gets ragged on a lot. PlanetSide 2.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky, you release the exact same game, but you say that there are factions. You could say that there is like this this galactic republic, this galactic empire, and neutral, and you could be like, oh cool, there's a new planet. Oh shit, that planet's run by the Empire. If I land there, there's going to be enemy bases, and people are going to shoot at me, and all that stuff.
Even if
I'm
it's
in a
basic as
Republic
hell,
planet, then there's going to be a lot of cool shops and stuff. But if I'm a bad guy, then it's as if I went to an Empire. And neutral planets, either there's a battle or there's just nothing.
yeah,
That alone would have
here's
been
my thing.
amazing.
Yeah, and here's my thing with that. Even if the gameplay was still just basic, it's also the the gameplay might not still be my biggest thing, because if it's mediocre gameplay, you might not want to play it. But that would add a hell of a lot more content.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
See, the thing is that No Man's Sky, the biggest draw to it, because when it was being hyped up like the year, 2 years before it came out, people were drawn to it because they said it's a universe with an absurd amount of planets that you can explore
And nothing to
with
do.
friends. Because here's the thing, all right, Kurn, have you ever played a game called Journey?
Yes.
Journey is a
I
game
have,
where
but I've never played it.
there is no combat. There's not a lot of action. It's
It's a literal walking simulator.
it's a walking simulator where you just explore this gorgeous world, and you can have a companion meet up with you mid-game, and there is no form of
Yeah, but
communication.
the game's like only an hour and a half.
See, but the thing is that charm, if with the mechanics that they were advertising of No Man's Sky, of this
It could've-
galaxy-wide exploration, this you can find two factions, in fact, fighting each other, and you can join in the space battle, and you can take a side randomly at any given
In No
point,
Man's
or
Sky?
one ship can take a side. That immense awe of just the
The
world
immersion.
the world being bigger than you. That's what attracted people, and the fact that you could do that with a friend is what made people like, yo, this game is going to be great. And Sean Murray just dropped the ball completely, like 100%.
You know what else?
The problem is, it's not that like they didn't have it. It's that they said they would, and they didn't have
And
it.
it's you know what, we could literally talk about this topic for eons.
Let's just leave it at this. If anyone at home wants to see a testament to what we're talking about, look up a video on YouTube. There's so many. Sean Murray interviews lying, and they'll take questions that he was given in an interview, and he'll say yes, but they'll replace it with a no for everything that applies to the actual launch of the game. Is there multiplayer? He says yes, but then in the video he's like, no, not really. It's
He
the
did an
perfect
interview
way
on the
to
Late
find
Show
out
with
exactly
Stephen
what the-
Colbert and said yes, you can do it with your friends.
Exactly.
Straight up lie.
He went on national television and said there's multiplayer. I love that.
Because like it's one thing to lie on the internet.
He
but,
didn't
dude,
lie
how
to
are you gonna
IGN.
go
He lied
on
to
a-
Colbert.
Right?
Yeah, how you gonna embarrass Stephen Colbert, bro?
Oh, Stephen
on.
Colbert's not embarrassed. He's like, I've done worse interviews before.
Yeah,
I've
he's
caught
right.
people on their bullshit. I want
Yeah.
Stephen Colbert to call up Sean Murray 1 year later and be like, what happened then?
Oh,
Yeah, he could probably just see it past him.
by the way, one last thing, because this all spawned from Oscar asking me about Metroid.
Mhm.
Metroid Prime 4 is being made by Retro Studios. It exists. So, in my book, it can be good. It hopefully is coming out by 2020, because realistically, I'd like them to take their time and make it a good game,
Of
make it
course.
a solid story, and have the gameplay and the mechanics actually work. And I guess from here on out, the next time that I'm going to actually get information is probably E3 of next year. So, to lay that to rest.
Mhm.
Moving on now.
Oscar, what are you looking forward to with the Switch?
Huh?
With the Switch?
Yeah.
Like I said, Fire
See-
Emblem,
I mean,
Metroid,
see, like-
Mario.
See, like, just so I want to lay to rest this other
Mhm.
conversation I was having with you guys.
Okay.
Going along with the whole update thing. So, Season 3 is coming out, For Honor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
My biggest gripe with For Honor is while it did get, like, an upgrade and everything. Bro, they haven't covered up the exploits, and literally during the For Honor tournament, in the finals no less, a guy exploited the game and that's why he won.
That's bullshit.
Wow.
That is like, I don't know how, maybe a lot of people are talking about it, but like, dude, that's a big fucking deal.
That's
In
huge.
your tournament game, and you just released a huge update that was supposed to make the game better, more competitive. You had a guy win the finals by exploiting the game
Yeah. See,
live.
As-
Like that, dude, come on.
as far as exploiting a video game in competitive tournament play, like, the big thing that comes up is obviously a game like Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Like, man.
Mhm.
But the thing is that in Melee, it's not that the assholes exploit the game. The competitive scene has
It's
found a
about
way.
doing-
Yeah, they found a way to exploit the game as a whole in general for everyone
Yep.
to make the game more exciting. Because realistically speaking,
When
if you
everyone's
play,
cheating, it looks cool.
yeah, if you play, because when I played Melee, I didn't know how to wave dash or L cancel or any of this crazy shit. Fucking wombo combo, happy feet, fucking Jesus. When I played the game, Melee, vanilla, no exploits, is actually really slow.
Yeah.
Because if you were to watch Melee being played without any of the exploits competitively, it would be pretty boring, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
But it's the fact that it's like the exploits they found, the way that they use them, it makes it such a fast-paced, heart-pounding thing. All right, anyone at home who hasn't watched competitive Melee, I want you to look up anything by either Ken, Mewtwo King, Mango, Hungry Box, Leffen, any of the quote-unquote gods of Melee at any given time of their reign, it's some of the most absurd fighting game, like, spectacle I've ever seen. The only thing that's ever topped it is, honestly, Marvel vs. Capcom, because that game is some shit.
I can't wait for 10 years from now when we're talking about all the hype ARMS tournaments with those gods.
Ooh, you know what? Speaking of Marvel vs. Capcom, Kurn, I know you're not as big a weeb as me and Oscar. I know that as a concept, Oscar is hyped for it. I don't know if you've seen much of it though. Have you heard of Dragon Ball Fighters?
Dude, the Dragon Ball
Yes,
Fighters.
I have.
Bro, that game looks like it's gonna be fucking crazy. I'm so hyped for
It
that.
looks like someone took an unreleased Street Fighter game and just threw all the Dragon Balls at it and made a wish. And the wish
It's more
came
like
from-
Marvel vs. Capcom because it has the 3-fighter system, and from what they've shown, the combos you can pull off are beyond the things you can pull off in Street Fighter. Not because like.
But doesn't it feel like a
people have the
downgrade?
skill.
Doesn't it feel like a downgrade because the last so many fighting games that are Dragon Ball Z based, and there's a lot of them. They've all been 3D. They've all been about flying and having aerial combat. There's been a ton of these 3D strafing, which looks a lot like the fights in the show. Going to a 2D kind of feels like a downgrade, doesn't it?
It's just the fact that we're gonna get a Dragon Ball game that doesn't feel the same as the last game.
Let me put it to you this way.
It gets tiring after a while.
If you take the Dragon Ball Z anime and manga and all the spectacle that you see in it, and you were
put it in a 2D.
Yeah, if you condense it to make all of the fast-paced action and the combos and the crazy spectacles on a 2D plane, technically 2.5D from what I've heard, it makes it so that instead of having the crazy flight, the giant open maps to fight in, it makes it a more intimate fight. And because here's the thing, a lot of people love Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super for the absurdity of the powers and the scale of the attacks and whatever.
3 clashing fists destroy universe.
Exactly. But what a lot of people love about Dragon Ball Z as a franchise is when two characters in the show or in the manga get up in each other's face and get into the nitty-gritty, just straight-up fist fighting.
Because martial arts-wise, it's choreographed.
Exactly. And that's exactly what this game is. Because the thing is, they didn't make it slow, they didn't make it mundane, and they didn't make it drag. You can, from just the trailers, and let's be real here, when a developer shows off a trailer for a fighting game, it shows off maybe 30% of the capability of the things that you can pull off in that game as compared to what the community is going to find within the mechanics of the game. So, seeing just what the developers have shown off, Dragon Ball Z Fighters is, in a lot of cases, people are saying it's going to overthrow Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Because people are looking at Infinite and being like, but they're looking at because Dragon Ball Z Fighters, it looks like it comes back to the core of what made the MVC game so good. It's just straight heart-pounding, just in-your-face combos and combat, and it looks like it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. I might just be biased.
Oh, no, I mean, it does look cool. It's just, with the knowledge of the 3D ones in mind, I didn't know how the community would take that. It seems like they're taking it well.
Very well.
I mean, a lot of people, the last two games that have come out,
well.
yeah, the last two games that have come out fighting game-wise in Dragon Ball Z are the Xenoverse games. And even though it sold a lot of people liked it. A lot of people had gripes with it because of the fact that they made the maps huge. They made the combat.
What were the fighting games that began with a B?
Budokai.
Tenkaichi
Budokai.
Tenkaichi Budokai was my shit.
See, those were 2.5D where you could strafe slightly left and right. Yeah. You could fly, but it was in a constrained environment. It wasn't like giant open giant
Yeah,
plane.
and another thing with the big maps is that a lot of people felt that the fights weren't as intimate because of the wide space, because you could
spam attacks.
Yeah, you did have more mobility in the plane.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the fact that a lot of people steered away from the up close and personal combat in favor of gaining space
Mhm.
your
Key blasts
using your
and
key
shit.
blast.
Yeah.
And while it's good strategy, obviously diverse your game up. It's just a lot of people, not a lot of people, but there were a select few people who didn't like the fact that it moved away from close combat.
Basically, what Dragon Ball Fighters reminds people of. All right, have you ever seen the clip from Evo? I think it's called Clip 37, where it's Justin Wong, one of the greatest fighting game people, like just personalities in all of fighting game history, competitive. They were playing Street Fighter 2, and it was Chun-Li versus Ken. And Chun-Li uses her ultimate attack, for lack of a better
That shit
word.
was crazy.
And it's a 16 kick combo. And to get out of it without taking damage, because you can block it, but you still take chip damage.
Got a tick of health.
You had to. All right. It was I think the finals in like 2005 or something, way back in the day, and the Ken player had a tick of health left. The Chun-Li was dominating the match. They throw out their special, thinking that the Ken player can't parry, and to parry in that game, you have to be borderline frame perfect. He can't parry all 16 hits. He has to fuck up at least once. He parries every single kick perfectly, flawlessly.
Yeah.
And then after her ultimate ends, he wins the match with his ultimate. It was one of the most, if you haven't seen it, look it up. It's one of the most iconic fighting game moments in
That
Evo
sounds
in
amazing.
all of
It was,
history.
it was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in a fighting
And
game.
it's that feeling, that intense combat, that up close quarters, the fact that you can't run away and spam your moves
Yeah,
because
that's
it's
what-
on a professional level. That's what people get the feeling of
And that-
for Dragon Ball
Yeah,
Fighters.
and that's what some people, like I said before, that's something that people just felt was kind of missing from the new games. But you know what? They didn't come out bad. They were good. I can't say they're great, me personally.
What, Xenoverse?
Yeah, because I didn't play Xenoverse, too much of Xenoverse 1 and 2.
They're fun, I can tell you that
Yeah,
much.
no, I've seen Chris play. I've seen a couple of my friends play it all the time. It's just the fact that, I don't know, to me, it's never kind of clicked for me.
What do you
does
think
look-
about the people who don't read the manga, don't watch the anime, get all their story from the games?
It's
That's
fine.
okay.
See, 'cause
Honestly, with Xenoverse 1
Would
and 2,
that work with
can't
something like
do that.
Naruto though? Because those games look fucking good.
Well, see, here's my thing. I love the Naruto games, and alright, with Xenoverse 1 and 2, Xenoverse 1 and 2 tell an alternate story.
Oh, okay.
As to where the Ninja Story games are combat retellings.
okay, let me
Ninja Storm just looks fun.
all right, hold on.
It gets repetitive, but no, I love the game.
Let me say
repetitive
something.
because I've seen a lot of fights in that game where it's just back and
I
forth,
mean, some of
turning
the
into
bots
logs.
are crazy, dude.
Let me
Just back and
say
forth, turning
something
into
about the Naruto.
logs.
Let me say something about the Naruto games, because this is something that people who have gotten into the Naruto fighting games recently may not know. You may not know this. So before the Ninja Storm games, because the Ninja Storm games are called Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm blank 1, 2, 3, 4 Revolution, Generations, whatever. Before that, there were 5 Ultimate Ninja games, which were on a 2D plane. There was no 3D space. And it played almost like, all right, think of it almost like a Super Smash Brothers game, only Naruto, right?
Okay.
Other than that, there was the Clash of Ninja games. There have been a lot of Naruto video games that have come out over the years.
The Storm games have just been the ones that have been
The
most
Storm
heavily
games,
focused on.
they were the ones that started being played competitively.
Yeah,
And
especially because like the gameplay called for definitely a lot more skill.
yes.
Because
See,
like it's easy to pick up honestly, but it gets crazy, man.
like, I've watched tournaments of people playing. See, okay, Ultimate Ninja Storm 1 was not played that competitively. 2 was the one that was played the most because its mechanics were the most polished and the most fair. Then you have, I think, 3 Revolutions, Generations, and then 4. They're actually releasing a combo pack with, I think, 1, 2, and 3, not 4. And people are losing their shit because they're like, holy fuck, we have a remake
Of
of
2.
2.
Mostly,
Yeah.
it's mostly 2 people are excited for.
If people, I've heard of a
I can
lot
see
of
people
people.
go back and do
Yeah.
competitive with 2 again.
The story in the Ninja Storm games, the first one started in the original Naruto, and it covered the canon story of the entire original Naruto.
The
right?
first game just covered the entire story.
Yes, because it ended at. Hold on, pause. If somehow you haven't seen the original Naruto yet, spoilers! Okay, if you're still here, it's your own fate. The last fight of the original Naruto that's canon is Naruto versus Sasuke. Of course. And the original Ninja Storm finishes on that fight. Ninja Storm 2 picks up at Shippuden. 3 and 4, 2, 3, and 4 tell the entire story of Shippuden, but they take out a lot of little bits and pieces that were either important and all the filler. So you can technically play through all the Storm games, get the whole story, but you'll be missing a little, good chunk of the story of the
like the little
the universe.
the little intimate moments, really. But like you get the key plot points.
But you don't get all the feels.
Basically.
I mean, some of the fights are replicated. And,
Fun
and
fact.
enhanced, actually.
So obviously you know that manga always goes ahead of the anime.
Of course.
When Ninja Storm 4 came out, Naruto Shippuden as a show hadn't ended. And when it came out, the final fight of Shippuden, people everywhere said that the best way to experience it before the anime got to it
was the game.
Because it did it perfectly.
Yeah, because the
So
game
it did it better than the anime did?
No, than the manga did.
Okay.
At the time.
See, here's the thing. The fact that it brought to life the final fight, because with animation, and even just animation in video games, you could do a lot more
Yeah.
to storytell it.
Yeah.
But just the manga version is just so raw.
Yeah.
It's so good. Then the anime version came out, I was like, fuck.
See, all right.
There were certain moments that are better in the video game version, but overall, it's just the anime version is perfect.
The anime version not often.
It also did add in a couple things.
Yeah, the anime fight for the last fight of Shippuden added in a couple of things, but the thing is that in this scenario, people actually enjoyed it more because it added things that were desired from the manga's ending that wasn't in the manga. So, it all depends.
Good experience. It was great.
Yeah. Alright, so guys, I think we did a good show.
Yes,
And
we
had a
did.
Podcast, and now, Georgie,
Mhm.
Rush.
Rush.
The dog's name in Mega Man was Rush.
Oh,
I completely forgot that
Damn.
was a thing. God damn it.
George
That little
George is-
red
George
son
is
of a
act-
bitch.
George is actually upset right now.
Trampoline ass motherfucker.
Yep, hoverboard.
God damn it.
God damn.
I'm actually really upset with myself. I
Yeah,
completely
me
forgot to
too.
remember it.
So
God.
I guess the only thing left to say is, I guess next week we'll have another one of these.
Yeah.
Next
popping
week we'll
out.
have another one, and as always, if you like Destiny, you're wrong.
What
What if that's how I sign off forever?
Yeah.
What if that's how I sign off every time?
Oh, real quick,
Yes.
shameless plug. After this podcast goes up or before it, whatever, at some point in the future, we are going to be not reviewing, but giving our initial impressions
Discussing.
of a new game that came out called Lawbreakers.
Yes,
Hopefully.
we will have that up. After the podcast, it will come out.
Also down on the bottom, Kurn will put it in.
Yeah.
I don't even care. Kurn, put our Twitch information down there.
You know,
Yeah,
how we-
Twitch will
like
be there.
Lawbreakers.
Also on social media, where could we find you guys?
Twitter, Instagram, the gram.
we'll link.
Say your Twitter handles.
My Twitter handle.
My Twitter handle is Dominican Boy 610. I'm ashamed of it. Don't fucking judge me.
My social media information will be down at the bottom.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not? We'll just add our shit to the bottom.
Yeah.
Sure.
Come watch us stream on Twitch. We stream random shit. Who knows what we'll fucking be playing.
We'll be on there.
We'll be playing. If it's not us, it's a
We'll have a
portion of
robot.
us or other
Yeah.
people. I don't know. We're
Fucking
idiots.
hell.
We're on a couch. It's all good.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Idiots on a Couch. We will see you next time. I love you all.
Cut!
Thank you very much.